Hello friends, welcome back. Okay, today we're going to be adding color to our tree of strength, and you will need a brush. You can have a round brush like this one right here. Round brush, not too big, not too small. You can have a flat brush like this one right here. Again, not too big, not too small. The choice is yours. Okay, you'll need a watercolor palette. You will need some water. I prefer to do 2 cups of water so that I don't have to keep moving up and down to clean up my water. And I'm ready to go. Make sure you gather your supplies before you get started, because if you're gathering your supplies while you're working, it's going to take away from your time. Now again, we're going to do this in real time, and we're going to spend 10 minutes on this or less and finish it up real quickly so that we can make our tree of strength pop. A quick revisit on our tree of strength. Our tree of strength is designed to help us take a look at ourselves and see what things we have in our arsenal, in our bag, that can help us and when we have problems. So what are our strengths? Those are the things that you put in the leaves at the top of the tree, the things that give you strength, that empower you. At the bottom of the tree are the leaves where you put down the things that you need help with, the things that you are concerned about right now, the things that are causing you worry, okay? So now we're gonna paint our tree. Dip your brush in the water. Make sure you get this brush in some water, right? Make sure you keep your brush on the table and hold your cup so nothing spills, okay? You don't want too much water, you don't want too little water, because it's watercolor. And I'm just gonna put this right here so that you guys can see how I get paint. And I'm gonna start with a darker blue. And you see how I move my brush on the paint in a circular motion. I don't jab at it. And then I'm just gonna start from the top. It should flow nice and easy. Now what I wanna do is leave some areas unpainted. I'm gonna leave them white. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I come back in, I wanna add some other colors on there, okay? Because I wanna make sure that my sky has got more than one color to it so that it looks like it's on fire. I know you guys have seen the sky looking like that in the morning or when it's setting at night. It gives me value and allows me to have more depth in my artwork, okay? So there's a dark blue at the very top. I'm not going to wash my brush off, and I'm going to get a light blue. Another way to get a light blue is to just have more water on your brush, more waterless paint, and that'll give you light blue. Again, I'm still leaving areas that are unpainted. Just like that. More water, less paint. More water, less paint. Don't get your brush too wet, because if you get your brush too wet, then you might paint holes in your paper. Don't do that. And really, you don't have to use watercolor paper. You can use any kind of paper. That's perfectly fine. It will still work. And as I go down to the bottom right here, my sky gets lighter. Where it starts to meet the ground, my sky gets lighter. There. Okay, I'm gonna add a little pink to this. There you go, add a little pink to it. There are all sorts of ways that you can paint the sky. I'm just going really light right now. I'm keeping this as light as possible. Now I've completed several of these, and I'm gonna show you a few examples, not just this one, so you guys can see all the different variations that you can have with color in this project. There. That pink looks really nice in there with the blue. Blend it in. Make sure you bring it into the blue like that and blend it in so that it feels like it's one thing. Right? Nice blending right there. There we go. And the way you blend it in, if you've run out of paint, don't go and get more paint. Go get water and then come back and paint on top of it with water. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little bit more other color. I'm gonna go slightly darker, and I'm gonna do an orange. I like that. The reason why I leave little parts of white on here so that I can come in and put in some other colors is because if I paint it the other color, it'll mix. And then instead of having orange, I'm gonna end up with brown. Because that's what happens when I mix blue and orange together. They give me brown. So just gonna add a little of that orange in here. Again, water, blend in. There. I'm gonna go back up to the top over here. Again, water. And blend in. I'm gonna add some red. Red is a crucial part of this. It shows up in the sky that way too. When the sky looks like it's on fire. So I'm gonna add some red in here. All right, now I'm gonna paint my tree. Let's check our time. Okay, we're currently at 6 minutes. So I'm gonna paint my tree and I'm gonna do a light brown. Let's start at the bottom. Working my way up to the top. And this is your tree of strength in color. Painting is a really great way to release any pent-up anxiety that you may have. I think it's a wonderful way to start your week. We've got a lot of things planned this week. This is an awesome beginning, connecting last week to this week. So we add color to our tree of strength, reminding us that we have the strength to do this. We can do this. We can make it through this together. If we combine all of our strengths that we have, we can overcome all of the problems that meet us. Just like the doctors and the scientists who are working around the clock right now to help everybody get through this. We'll play our part, stay healthy, stay home, stay creative, stay focused, keep learning. Some of you guys are gonna be the doctors and the nurses and the physicians and the scientists of tomorrow. That's exciting. There. And my tree of strength is painted. Now I can add a little bit more detail with a darker brown paint right here. And I can come down in here and I can go like this. Just to add some details. To make things pop out a little bit more from the sky. Just like that. Give it value. All right. Do that. Shadow. Okay. There. It's not so much an outline as it is just giving it a little darker value. Because after all, we do have a sun here, don't we? And the sun does that. Casts a shadow in a good way. Creates a 3D effect. Now, if you want to, you can paint your leaves. Be careful not to make them too dark because you want to be able to read what you wrote on there. So when you go back and look at it, it has good meaning for you. So I'm just going to lightly put a shade of green on there. Lightly put a shade of green on there. Maybe I'll make some of them slightly darker and some of them slightly lighter. Hey, it's okay to try that. There you go. Different shades of green. You can still read what's underneath. That's the cool thing about watercolors. They generally don't cover everything up. You have to work really hard to cover everything up, so. You can also go back and outline your leaves the same way, not outline, but Give them a border the same way that you did with the veins in your trees. You can go back and do those too if you want to. And like I said, I'm going to show you some examples of some of the Tree of Lives, Tree of Strength that I created so that you can see all the different ways that you can create your Tree of Strength. Okay. By the way, talking about books, I love that book about Sophie and her tree and how Sophie's tree was different from everybody's tree, and everyone made fun of her because her tree was different. And then her teacher came along and told everybody, you know what? Your tree is yours and it's going to look like yours. So there's your Tree of Strength. Here's another example of a Tree of Strength. There's another one, okay? And here's another example. This one is one of my favorites of a Tree of Strength. This one, my tree is red. Kind of reminds me of Sophie's tree. All right, happy creating and see you next time.